It's clear. Okay, now I can feel my car slipping. Ooh, it stepped on the brakes really hard there. It's slipping. Oh, there we go. Take over immediately. Okay, there's someone right behind us. Come on, you got this. Come on. Oh, no. Okay, we are on the wrong side of the road here. Hey everybody, welcome back to another full self-driving video. My name is John, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. I document the progress of full self-driving here in Chicago. It's been a while since I posted a video, but I'm really excited to share with you here today a video of me driving in very bad weather conditions. We're talking about snowy, wet, slippery roads. I never would advocate for anyone to test this software in these conditions. It's really not designed to be used in these conditions, and you certainly can't kick back and rely on it. I'm going to say that right away. You also have to be very aware of the tread on your tires, and you have to be very courteous to the people around you. Before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to Texas Tesla, who shared this awesome shirt with me. He's got a merch store where you can pick up similar shirts like this. This was my favorite one. I absolutely love it. So thanks so much for sending that to me. Also, a big thank you to all of my supporters, everybody on Patreon, also in the local community. I'm talking to you, Chuck. I'm talking to you, Chris. I'm talking to you, JD. All of the guys that are producing incredible content on the regular. You guys are doing a great job, and I love your support going both ways. It means so much to me. I have not posted in a while, and the reason why is because I only want to post video that creates value for you as a viewer. And a lot of my videos have been me just going on and on. I'm just talking about random stuff. And I started watching my videos and I'm like, man, I don't even want to listen to myself. I can't imagine someone else wanting to listen to me. And I will tell you, I binge watch my videos every single time I post them. I watch my videos probably more than anyone else from front to finish. I know a lot of people start watching my videos and they jump ship a minute, 2 minutes in. I hope that's not the case with this video. Anyway, I'm going on and on here again. Thanks so much, guys. Let's jump straight into the video. Hey everybody, welcome back to another full self-driving video. I'm excited to be back. It's the day after Thanksgiving. I am in Michigan and it is a winter wonderland here. Did I just say winter wonderland? Winter wonderland here. I don't know how it's going to fare here in this weather, but I thought I'd take it out. I wanted to get out a lot earlier, but a little bit hard after the food coma that set in last night. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I have all my camera gear set up and I'm heading out to the store real quick. I am a little bit skeptical to see if it's going to be able to drive through this slush. It is kind of wet. You know, sometimes it's super cold and it's dry and crunchy, but it's actually slushy and wet here today. So there's going to be a lot of slipping and sliding taking place. I just replaced my tires. These are brand new Lexani tires on my car. They have a lot of grip, and the previous set that I had lasted me 3 winters in Chicago. So it's fairly decent, I would say, for an all-season tire. And these are high-performance tires. I have maybe 1,000 miles on these tires, so the grip really shouldn't be an issue. What is going to be an issue are the cameras and then the slipping and sliding with the slush. First thing I'm going to do is just turn on actually, let's not even do the wipers. Let's have everything just fully automated. So we're going to take off. I'm going to put it into drive. As soon as I stepped on the brake, my windows went up. One nice thing about Teslas is that, well, maybe not nice, but a feature, I should say. The windows are frameless. So what happens is the windows, when you close the doors, they go up. But when it's really cold outside, they automatically go down even a little bit more than they normally would. So let me try putting it in park. Oh, even without putting it into self-driving, just the regular drive turns on the auto wipers, which I'm fine with that. But let's see if I put it into park here, what the windows do. Okay, nothing. It's actually when you leave the car is when those windows go, and they come down just a little bit just to provide some spacing in case there's a jam with the windows unlocking or coming down. Because when it gets really cold, that can turn into ice, and then that can freeze the windows, and you can break the glass or you damage the frame. So Tesla's built in some weatherproofing features. So we're gonna get started here. My tires are low on pressure, but I'm fine with that. We are gonna be heading out of the driveway and turning right. Let's see what happens here as we take off. It allows us to turn it on within the driveway, so here we go. Instantaneously, we get a message. Full self-driving may be degraded. Poor weather detected. And now I've seen that message many, many times before. And right now the alerts are a bit annoying. You'll hear it go beep, beep, beep multiple times, but it's interesting that it knew that even prior to engaging it. So I'm going to have to press on the accelerator a little bit to get it going. And we're going to see if it tries to go left or tries to go right. We really need to go right here. If it tries to go left, I'm going to take over. And we have a car coming. Let's see if it sees them. Hopefully it does. Yes, it does. I'm going to wait for them. How about the timing for that? Almost nobody drives on this road, and then suddenly when we take off, we have a car there. Look at that. Immediately we get a takeover immediately. Okay, we're gonna... The steering wheel is still trying to do stuff right now. It's still trying to move, and it looks like it's still controlling itself, which is really interesting to me because it says take over immediately. So, nobody, like I said, on this road. I'm just going to look back. Yep, nobody behind us. Easy going in this neighborhood, very quiet, but look at the snow coming down. Okay, the steering wheel's still going. It's still like trying to do stuff. Before we take over, I'm going to step on the accelerator and just see what happens. Let's see. Okay, I let up on the accelerator, and it's still asking me to take over. I'm going to step on the accelerator a little bit more here. I think it's just going to continue in this mode until I take over. So how do you take over in this situation? Do you step on the brake? Do you disengage? I'm going to step on the brake to start. Usually I disengage by pushing up on the right drive stalk. And if you know self-driving, pushing up on the right drive stalk and stepping on the brake are the same thing. There we go. It just disabled the self-driving mode, and the right turn signal is still on from coming out of that driveway, but we need to go left here, as you can see. So let's turn it back on again. Come on, fingers crossed. Don't slip. Okay, good. Let's see what happens here. It's clear. We get stuck again. Okay, now we're kind of in the middle of the intersection. So I'm going to step on the brake again. And I'm just going to, because there are cars now coming, I'm going to step on the accelerator manually to come out onto the main road and then turn it on. So here now we don't have as much blockage. I mean, with the, how should I say, we don't have as much slush. So this road has a little bit more grip because the plow trucks have come down this street. So we are going to be able to operate it here. I'm going to turn it on. It's still saying full self-driving may be degraded. Let's see if it can make this turn. It's slowing down quite a bit. Now I can't tell if that's because of the weather but that is interesting that it's slowing down. Now, granted, it is a 25 mile per hour speed limit zone here, so maybe this is normal. Slowing down really nicely for this turn. Coming through here. Nice. Took that really nice and slow. I liked that. That was good. And it doesn't seem to be centering itself on the tracks, the tire tracks that the other vehicles have created. It seems to be hesitating, knowing exactly where to drive a little bit. But it is showing the lines on the screen here. So now that we're on the main road, I'm not anticipating that we're going to have too many issues operating. Now, we do have somebody right behind us, and that's fine, but we are going a little bit slow. So it's 35 miles per hour on this road, and normally I'd be going 35 at least. Now it's going up to 30. And we actually have two cars behind us. I'm going to step on it just a little bit, give it a little bit of gas here. And yeah, we're kind of going outside of the tire tracks. There's a lot of slush kind of going up in my wheel wells. And that always makes me cringe because these roads get salted a lot. And if you know what it's like living in the Midwest, you get a lot of rust on your vehicles, and that just bothers me like you wouldn't believe. Now we need to be going right here, and it's kind of going to the, okay, now it's turning the right on. We're way over. I'm going to take over here because we need to be way over here, and the car behind us is going to get really confused because they're turning right, and I didn't want them to kind of cut us off, which they easily would have. So these types of situations require some takeovers. I don't know what that was all about. I'm going to report that. It should not have been over in that left lane like that. Turn it back on. Immediately we get that beeping sound saying that it is degraded. Please be attentive. Put your hands on the wheel. I saw a message related to that there. Okay, going forward here. Now this is even more of a main road, so we're not experiencing any major weather issues on this road in particular, and you can actually see the lines here. So this is a much better road to be driving on for sure. Windshield wipers are operating automatically. Seems pretty stable here. Now a lot of reflections with the water, the melted snow on the road here, but it seems to be handling this just fine. It is centering itself really close to these lines for some reason. And now changing lanes. Let's hope there's no slipping involved here. Okay, good. We're going to be going straight here. And we were awfully close to that car. So just a quick recap in case you're new to my channel here. I am always operating in the assertive mode. In this weather though, I may want to change this. So let me show you the settings here. We have chill, average, and assertive. This is hardware 3. It's a 2019 Model 3 with an Intel processor. So the version that I have of full self-driving is 12.5.4.2, which is the latest version for hardware 3 vehicles. And it does not include the hurry setting and some of the new speed control features that the AI4 processors have. With the weather the way that it is, I'm just going to set it to average, and you can see it has a medium follow distance, and that's what triggered me to come into these settings, because when you have very wintry weather where you could slip or slide, you don't want to have any braking that causes your vehicle to go out of control, especially when your vehicle is controlling itself. So having a medium follow distance in this type of weather is really critical. I'm a little bit surprised that it didn't automatically downgrade me to this setting, or if I go to chill, it says it even has a larger follow distance and perform fewer speed lane changes. I like that. That might be the best for winter driving. Now, if it was a lot worse, like at blizzard conditions and we had snow everywhere, let's say it was like early morning and the plow trucks had not come out yet, I would definitely be driving in chill. But I think right now with the roads the way they are, I think average would be appropriate enough for what we have. So I'm going to leave it in average, but important for everybody just to know what settings I'm working with, especially if you're new to self-driving completely. It's good to know those differences there. Now, with the roads the way they are, I could easily be going 40 miles an hour, and the people in front of us are going 5 over the speed limit. My car is choosing to go exactly at the speed limit. I don't have a problem with that, except for the people behind me. And one of the things that one of my rules of thumb with winter driving is to not always be so much worried about yourself when you're driving, but more so about the people behind you. Those are the people you really need to worry about, because sometimes you have like a new driver and they don't know how to space themselves. It's really important to give yourself enough room in these conditions to stop appropriately. Now, I mentioned in a previous video, you can turn these wiper controls off. So if I tap on the left stalk, watch what happens. I can turn these off, and let's see if that triggers any extra messages, because previously, talking about version 11 of FSD, I believe, you could not turn off the auto wiper functionality. And then with version 12, some release within the version 12 series of point releases we had the ability now to turn those off. And it'll be interesting to see if it just completely stops operating when we have enough snow that builds up on the windshield. Let's see what happens here. Now it's going a little bit above the speed limit, 36. And back down to 35. And yet again, we have this person right behind us. I don't like that when they're right behind you. Now I do have the auto max setting turned on. Let me go into the settings and just show you that real quick. If you come down here, we have the automatic set speed offset setting turned on. And what happens in that mode is, let's say I want to increase the speed. Okay, now here it went to 36. But really, I want to be going 40 to get away from... It's very important to be a defensive driver when you're in these types of conditions. And this person behind me, I don't like that they're following me so closely. So if I now use the right scroll wheel, I'm scrolling up, you can see my speed is not changing whatsoever. If I turn that setting off and now scroll up, it says 44 max. You can see it's changing there. 45, 46, 47. You used to be able to control that so it would actually go to the max speed setting, but now that's gone. That was taken away. I can't remember exactly which version. It's really a shame because I used to love being able to control my speed. Here it's getting into the correct lane. It's hard for me even to see the lines here, but this is exactly where we need to be to turn left. That was really well done. So this setting on city streets, I should clarify, when you turn the automatic set speed offset setting off, on the highway you do have the ability to increase the speed. But on city streets, it's still that awkward, you can't control situation. Now, if you step on the accelerator, it will accelerate temporarily, go to the speed that you push down to. But then if you let go and you keep driving, it'll just slowly start settling back down to that slower speed, which is not always appropriate. Like I said, when someone is following you right behind in inclement weather. So since I'm all city streets right now, I'm just going to turn that setting back on. It really doesn't matter. And we'll proceed forward. But I have not used the wipers once here, and you can see the snow coming down. Let's see what happens here. We're still getting the same message, but unlike when it was raining the last time, here we go. No slip. Come on, don't slip, please. Okay. Made me nervous on that turn there, but it made it through there. When it was raining, I would get this beeping sound, and it would happen repetitively, and it got old very quick. But I'm not having that happen right now, which is good. And here we're going below the speed limit. It's 40 here, but again, because of the weather, I'm fine with it being under the speed limit, and we don't have anybody right behind us. Important to keep your eye on your rear view mirror in this type of weather. Slowing down, I can feel it slowing down. It's hard to see on camera. Okay, and up here, let's just see. Yes, we are going to be turning right coming up here. So I probably would be in the right lane, but I'm fine. We've got quite a distance here, about a half mile before we need to turn right. Okay, now I can feel my car slipping. Hard to see again on camera. This is one of those things that you have to have a good feel for. But my car was definitely slipping there. Okay, now we're changing lanes. This makes me nervous. Okay, good. Slipping a little bit. Coming up some train tracks. This is where we're going to be turning right. Okay, it's slowing down. The light is changing. And we are slipping a little bit, but all good, all good. It's a red light here. Nobody behind us. Looking around. Okay, good. Nice and slow. It seems to have improved the speed. This is nice. It's a little bit more cautious when the weather is bad. Normally, if there's no bad weather, it would have just accelerated straight away through that turn. So I notice a difference there. That's definitely nice that it's not going out of control. Now earlier, when we were leaving the residential area, the tire tracks, it showed that we were slipping. But I've not seen that so far on these main roads. Okay, and then up here we're turning right, getting really close here to that. One minute, and let's see how we turn into the parking lot. I believe this is it right up here. Yes, it is. Let's see here. Okay, now this makes me nervous. Okay, slow down. It's really got to slow down a lot. Okay, good, good. Got someone right behind us. Come on, you got this. Come on. Oh, no. Okay, we are on the wrong side of the road here. Let's see what happens. Are we going to go straight? What are you doing? Got cars behind us kind of wondering what's going on, probably. Oh, well. Okay, the car sorted itself out, but that was awkward. Oh, that made me laugh. Okay, turning left here. Ooh, it stepped on the brakes really hard there. And slipping. Oh, there we go. Take over immediately. Okay, taking over. It needs to be a little bit more intelligent when you're not on the main roads to avoid slipping. It needs to identify that we're losing traction and we should really not apply so much speed. So we're here. I'm just going to park the car. Let's see if the auto park works here in one of the spots in the back. Now, there's no lines. You're not going to be able to see any lines. If I slow down, I can hear we just ran out of battery. This is a perfect spot, actually. Let's see if this spot will work. We'll go ahead and say start. See if it can actually do this. Now the wiper's turned on. Autopilot speed limited due to poor visibility. Don't hit that car, please. And you can see we've got a lot of water droplets on the rear camera there. Moving back. Okay, we're really close to that car. It's a lot closer than I would be. I don't know why it did that. I'm going to have to correct it. Don't go too far now. It gives me comfort. You can see on the screen those spaces, but wow, I'm really off-centered here, so I'm going to correct it because I would not be... Oh, it thinks there's two spots here. I mean, possibly. It could be interpreted as two. I mean, it's a big spot here. That's why I'm okay with parking here. Normally, I park far away from other people, but this space has a lot of room, and I love that. Absolutely love that. That's what you want. All right, so with this weather, we have the batteries just don't last as long, especially my GoPro up above that turned off at the perfect time right as we arrived in the parking lot. So from here, I'm going to close out the video, but I just want to say in conclusion that full self-driving in its current state for hardware 3 needs to detect poor weather conditions a little bit better when it comes to traction control and slow down in especially off the main roads. That would be number one. Number two that I noticed is an improvement on the main roads, at least where we were making some turns. We could have gotten lucky. We only had 2 or 3 of them, but it seemed to have slowed down more than it had in the past. Generally speaking, there was some awkwardness with lane selection, just not knowing because it couldn't see the lines, especially coming in to this Walmart parking lot. We had that very strange situation where it was on the wrong side of the road. I allowed it to do that because people see this huge camera hanging off of my roof, and they're probably understanding a little bit more so that my car might be doing some experimental things. But generally speaking, I'm not very comfortable using it in these conditions, and it's going to be a big challenge, I think, for Tesla moving forward to be able to solve full self-driving in bad weather conditions. These types of situations are going to be very, very challenging for the team to solve to achieve full autonomy. So level 5 means no driver in the driver's seat, and the car needs to intelligently recognize what it can and cannot do. And I think in those situations, especially since we know when we started out this drive, we knew we knew right away the message was saying full self-driving may be degraded, poor weather detected. So it knows when there's poor weather. So in the future, I believe that when there is poor weather, you just simply won't be able to use it at all. It'll say, we're sorry, we can't go anywhere. And the question is then at that point is, because it's camera vision based technology, humans can see through and interpret things a little bit better, I feel. And I'm hopeful that the cameras can get there as well, as long as they're clean and wiped away of any debris. But I'm hopeful that we can solve these situations, because if it cannot operate in these conditions, people are still going to want to go out and run errands. And you have situations with schools where, let's say in the future you're sending your car to go pick up your kids. Would you really trust it if it didn't operate very reliably in bad weather? Or what happens if halfway through your trip bad weather starts? These types of situations really need to be taken a look at. Now, it's one thing to solve it without the weather, and I think that's what obviously Tesla's focusing on first, but getting to that next level, these are things that really need to be taken into consideration to really achieve level 5. Very curious what your experience has been in bad weather. It's less than optimal for me, so I hold out hope, but I'm also a bit skeptical, to be honest, with this type of weather. And it doesn't matter what autonomous vehicle you're using, you are always going to run into these very difficult situations. And of course, you could throw a bunch of hardware at it. Radar, LiDAR, ultrasonics. There's so many different methods to improve that visibility in poor weather. With the camera approach the way it is now, there is no way to clean those cameras, except for the windshield wipers on the front cameras. But earlier, and I didn't film this, earlier when I took my family out, the pillar cameras, the A and B pillar cameras, they were completely covered in water droplets that had frozen, and it was completely blocked off. You could not view out of those. So if you're driving and you start with a clean car, you're not going to really build up any of that stuff. But if you park your car and you're waiting for a while, that will start to build up. Now there's a heater element in the front camera on the windshield, which is nice, that will melt the snow, but that's not built into the side cameras. And also, you look at the repeater cameras, those, generally speaking, are pretty well protected on my Model 3. I have never had, even in the worst weather conditions, have had those get blocked. But as you can see in the back, you get these water droplets building up on the rear camera, and that can freeze. Now that's easy to clean off with your hand, but again, it's that automated. We need this to be autonomous without a human doing stuff. So, to be able to heat it, all these things, there's different methods to be able to clear these cameras. You could even have like a mod kit that you add to be able to clear the cameras. All these things need to be kind of fine-tuned before we have a fully featured product, I will say. Anyway, I will shut up from here. Thanks so much for watching. If you guys enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out as a small content creator. And hit that like button and leave a comment below with your experiences. And until the next video, have a great one.